Hello there and welcome to today's video, where today I'm going to give you 4 reasons why your next holiday should be a cruise. Now, first of all, I'm not affiliated to any cruise line, and as you can see, I'm not a big channel, so these are just my personal thoughts, but hopefully it'll give you some inspiration. So I'm going to get straight in there and give you number 1. So number 1, there is hardly any waiting. So for those of you that have flown before, you know the drill. You have to get to the airport 2 or 3 hours before check-in. You check in, you have to wait, you have to do this, you have to do that. Then you get called forward, then you go through border control, passport, all the rest of the malarkey, and then finally you get to board the plane. And then you could be waiting on the runway while they get you into the next allocated slot for takeoff. Cruising is completely different. So you are allotted a boarding time. Now this boarding time can be anything from midday onwards. At that point, you drive basically down to the cruise terminal. Yes, they have a cruise terminal. So you drive down, you drop your cases off. These cases are then taken and obviously put on the ship before you attend. You then put your car into parking, where again, you've got lots of different options for parking, especially down in Southampton. And then from there, you join the line which has your boarding time on. They call you in, you go upstairs, you go through the normal passport control and everything like that and the check-in, and then you are sent up the stairs and onto the ship. I have been on the ship within an hour from arriving at Southampton. That is how quick you can get on. So there's no waiting, there's no, trying to entertain the kids. You can literally get on the ship within an hour, and then you are there to start exploring and obviously start to enjoying the ship and what it has to offer. So that's point 1. Point number 2 of why your next holiday should be a cruise. Well, basically, it's the ship itself. So the ship itself, humongous. There are a lot of really good ships out there on the oceans at the minute. Many of them are, in excess of 15, 16, 17, 18 decks. So on these ships, you have literally everything. So I'll just take one ship, for example. I'm not going to name the cruise line, but this is one that I have sailed on. So on this ship, you have swimming pools, you have jacuzzis, you have a spa, you have a cinema, 3-screen cinema, no less. You have 20 different restaurants. You have ice cream. You have a pizza place outside. You have burgers. You have fish and chips. You have Indians, every kind of food you can think of is on that ship in them 20 different restaurants. On top of that, you have shops which are open throughout your cruise. You have the entertainment, so you have theatres, you have live shows, you have artists from across the world. We went on a cruise last year and we saw Chesney Hawkes on the cruise line, and I've got to say he was amazing. So so the ships are massive and there is so much to do, and that's just the tip of the iceberg. There is so much more on offer, so there's plenty to entertain young and old alike. So that's point 2. The ships are massive. Point number 3 is the food. So I've already said that obviously on most cruise ships you have a lot of different variety of restaurants, and there are, and the food is basically there for you to enjoy. Most of the food on the cruise ships is included in your package. So you get on board and it's basically all you can eat, which is sometimes a good thing, but sometimes a bad thing if you're on a diet. So for example, most cruise ships have the world famous buffet restaurant. Now this is probably the most busiest and most popular restaurant. So the buffet normally opens at 6 a.m. and it closes at 2 a.m. I think it is, or it might be 1 a.m. Obviously, different cruise lines have different times, so that it's almost open 24 hours. And they serve everything on that ship, from breakfast, then to light brunches, then to normal meals, then to afternoon teas, evening meals, and then snacks in the evening. There is a massive choice of food on the ships. And then as well as that, you have the fine dining experience, where you can obviously sit down and have a proper meal and have the waiter bring the food over to you. These fine dining experiences, again, are all included in the package, and they are well worth experiencing, because there are lots of different food available for you to offer. And then on top of that, there's lots of different snack bars. Like there'll be a burger place where you can just grab your burgers. There'll be an ice cream place. There's lots of food from around the world. So the food is a big part of the cruise. And like I said, most of it is inclusive. I will just touch on some of the restaurants that are not included, and just to give you an idea of pricing. So, for example, there's a restaurant on a certain cruise ship, which is basically like a steakhouse. And there is obviously a surcharge because you're having steaks. Now, I had a sirloin steak which was absolutely to die for, and I literally only paid something like a £9 surcharge. Now, this steak was massive. It had chips and obviously the works. So normally you'd probably pay £25 easily for that in a steakhouse in the UK. So to get £9 is a bargain. So the food on the cruise ships, amazing. Point 4 why your next holiday should be a cruise. And this is probably my favourite one. So obviously, normally you go on holiday and you'll fly away off to this beautiful destination, and you'll have a lovely hotel, and you'll have the swimming pool, and maybe the hotel will be by the beach, and you can relax, and maybe that's your kind of holiday. But maybe if you want to explore, then you may be stuck in one location. You could be stuck on an island like Tenerife or Lanzarote. So maybe there isn't so much to explore. On a cruise, it's completely different. So on a cruise, you get to board and then depart on different countries. So, for example, one I went on a couple of years ago, we actually touched on 3 different countries. So we touched on Marseille in France, Barcelona in Spain, and then we did La Pisa in Italy. So 3 countries on one cruise. And before you all say, oh, but you don't get a lot of time in the countries, that's a bit of a myth. So basically, the cruise ships obviously sail overnight. So while you are fast asleep in your lovely little cabin, or outside cabin, or wherever you may choose to be, the ship is sailing through the waters. And by the time you wake up at 6, 7 a.m, normally the ship is docking, ready for you to depart. So you can literally depart from about 7:30, 8 a.m. in the morning, and then you don't have to return to the ship until late afternoon, early evening. So we're talking like 5, 6, sometimes 7 p.m. So you do have the full day to obviously get on to the land, into the new town, and explore. There are a lot of cruises that have shuttle buses that take you from the cruise ship to the town centre, so you don't have to walk it unless you want to, of course. So again, that's a nice way of getting quickly into the town centre, and then you're there to explore. And then obviously you can make your way back later on, and back onto the ship, ready to depart. So they are my 4 reasons why your next holiday should be a cruise. Now, you may agree with some of these, you may disagree with some of these. These are just my personal thoughts. I really didn't think I would enjoy cruising as much as I do, but the whole experience is just amazing. So please give it some thought. Maybe let me know in the comment section what you think. Do you enjoy cruising? Are you going on a cruise this year for your first time? Are you booking one maybe next year? Please let me know. I'd love to hear from you. And as always, if you have enjoyed this video, please consider giving it a big thumbs up. I really would appreciate it. And if you are enjoying the content, please consider subscribing, as I will try to upload videos every week. Obviously throughout the summer, when we will be going on a cruise, I'll be recording videos from the cruise ship and the cabins and things like that. But I hope you've enjoyed this one. So thank you so much for watching, guys. Bye for now.